They call it San Lazzaro del Mare Saint, Lazarus of the Sea. But there's no sainthood in that name, no healing, no mercy. Just a long-abandoned asylum buried in the craggy hills of a forgotten coast, where the Mediterranean winds whisper through ruins that should have never been built. No one marks it on a map. The stone road that once led to it has crumbled. The hillside is overgrown, wild with gnarled olive trees, their roots coiled like clenched fists. Locals call that place La Bocca del Inferno, the mouth of hell, and what sleeps beneath those trees doesn't want to be forgotten. The asylum was founded in 1883, carved into the limestone hills above a small coastal village in what was then part of the Italian protectorate. Officially, it was a place for the criminally insane. Unofficially, it was where secrets were buried. Political dissidents, disfigured children, women who defied their husbands, priests who muttered heresies in their sleep. They were all sent there, shipped in by night under cloth-draped wagons. Records were forged, if they existed at all. Once admitted, you weren't released. You were erased. Whispers tell of what was done behind its arched stone doors, of priests performing exorcisms that ended in suffocation, of doctors stitching eyes shut, hoping to trap hallucinations inside, of rooms so deep underground the screams never reached the sea. The asylum shut down in 1946, when the hills shook one summer night and part of the cliffs collapsed, sealing half the building in rubble, sealing something else too. The official story was a rock slide, a tragedy, 47 patients lost. But survivors tell a different story, of voices that echoed from inside the walls, of rooms that bled, of a bell that rang every night at 3-6 a.m., though no one ever touched it, and of one patient who never had a name, just a number carved into his chest, 66. I didn't believe any of it until I saw the tapes. I was a grad student in anthropology. My focus was ritual psychosis and cultural hauntings. When I found a rusted tin labeled San L 1945-46 in a condemned church archive in Palermo, I thought I'd struck gold. There were reels of footage, black and white, no audio. The first showed patients pacing, normal. The second showed them clawing the walls. The third was something else. 12 figures in white stood in a circle, their eyes gouged, mouths sewn. In the center, a mannequin, skeletal, standing still despite the wind that whipped through the trees. The camera panned up. There was no ceiling, just sky, and then it shook. The film buckled. For a moment, something looked back at the camera, something with too many eyes. I shut it off, burned the film, but it didn't matter. That night, I dreamed of San Lazzaro. I went there. Of course I did. The journey took 2 days. The closer I got, the more wrong everything felt. The birds disappeared. The roads cracked. My compass spun. Locals wouldn't talk. The man who sold me the last map whispered only one word before I left: vendetta, revenge. The asylum was a ruin, tall archways strangled by ivy, windows smashed, doors rotted into splinters, but it breathed. I swear it. Each step deeper into the halls was like walking into lungs. The air grew thick. The shadows didn't wait for night. I found a room filled with chairs, hundreds, all facing one cracked mirror, carved into the glass. CUS. Behind me, chairs creaked, one by one, but I was alone, or I thought I was. The cells were worse. Each had a name etched in stone, and a number scrawled in blood or something darker. Cell 31. Marta Gianni. The door opened on its own. Inside, A bed bolted to the ceiling, chains on the walls, scratches in the shape of a face over and over. The words, "I am still here." I ran and ended up in the tunnels. They stretched beneath the hillside. Rooms half collapsed. Medical files rotted in heaps. Tools hung on rusted hooks. A morgue. Its slabs cracked. Some were open. One was occupied. But the body moved, just slightly. Its jaw opened, and I heard a voice in my head. "You brought light to our darkness." The walls pulsed, and the bell rang. 3:06 a.m. I woke up outside the gates, bleeding, alone. In my bag, a photograph that wasn't mine. A child in a straitjacket, eyes stitched shut, smiling, and carved into my forearm. 66. I left Italy. I changed my name, but the dreams followed. And sometimes I see them. The patients, watching from alleyways, reflected in glass, waiting. It didn't stop there. 2 months later, I received a package. No return address. Inside, a tape recorder. A cassette already loaded. I pressed play. Static. Then a whisper. "He still walks." The voice wasn't human. It had depth layers beneath it like churning stone. I threw it away. But it came back. 3 times. Each time with more tape. Each tape ending with the same phrase. "You saw us, now they see you." My research partner in Naples went missing. She was cataloging the same asylum for a paper. Said she found a hidden level in the blueprints. One not documented. She left a message the night she vanished. "There's another wing, buried under the hill. The doors sealed with wax and bone." I heard them chanting. "If I don't come back," the message cut off. The police found her phone in a bird cage. No birds, just blood. Last week, I returned. I had to. It was waiting. This time, the walls were whispering from the start. "You left us. You brought the eyes. You belong now." I found the sealed door, exactly where she said. Wax symbols melted into bone fragments. It opened without touch. Inside, a chapel. Rows of pews, each filled with mannequins stitched from patient uniforms. At the altar stood number 66, tall, broken, face hidden behind a mask of flesh. He raised a hand, and the bell rang. I fell. When I woke, I was stitched, hands bound, my tongue sewn, my eyes open, and in front of me, the camera, recording something that must never be seen, but will, because they want the world to know what was done, and that vengeance is already here.
There's a shadow in the hallway and a voice beneath the floor. I lock the doors, I hold my breath, but it's closer than before.